Alright, guys. For anyone watching, thanks for coming out. So tonight we are going to be casting the Trundo versus Wosh. I'm just going to call him Wosh. Uh, Series from round two, the round of 64 for Dark Age Cup. So I'm actually going to get right into it. First game is Arabia. It looks like it's going to be Trundo with Magyars and Wosh with Franks. So we've got two cavalry civs going to be duking it out on Arabia. All right. And it looks like we've got Trundo in blue and Wosh in gray. As far as maps go, I would say Trundo is definitely going to have the easier time walling this. Uh, though I would say his gold and stone are just a little bit more exposed. He does have this back stone. This gold is shit. Actually, it's nowhere near it's nowhere near as bad as Wosh's. He's got two forward goals here, another one mostly exposed here, uh, two forward stones. If he's gonna wall, it would probably have to be all the way up here. It looks like he might have found one of the sheep in this area. He definitely just found these ones. Uh, but yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to wall to the edge of the map on this side technically, but this whole area is going to be a pain in his ass. I can already tell. Uh, Meanwhile, Trundo's going to have a real easy time of it, I think. Uh, but let's find out what happens. We're gonna speed up a little bit, just through the early stages of Dark Age. Uh, we're gonna have people taking boars pretty soon, hopefully. All right. I like both of their wood lines. Alright, we have him going for berries, going for a boiler. I do not like that boiler. That is well outside of the TC, uh, which is going to be horrible for his efficiency, especially because because villagers gather so much from the boar, it's just going to take so much longer for them to get back to the TC, so you can keep producing villagers, especially at this early stage. This is much better, uh, and he's going to pull it in perfectly. Hopefully he doesn't lose a vill. Alright, and he's all set. He's even making a farm. That's good. He's got his houses, starting a wall. I don't know if I would personally go diagonally like this. Maybe he's going to go wall from this house here to this tree line. But he is walling up on this side. No walls yet from Trundo, but he is taking some of his deer. It looks like he's trying to push them in towards his mill. And he's had somewhat limited success so far with that. Very limited success. But there we go. Alright, he's got two. He's got two of his deer. He's going up to feudal as well. They're both going up to feudal. Alright, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. And we're going to get back to the game. We've got a barracks from Trundo. And no sign of a barracks from our friend Wosh here. That's okay. I wonder if he'll go for some sort of drush. I guess he's kind of too late to go for a drush, huh? I would think with his 500 wood, wow, he has a lot of villagers on wood. That's 9 villagers on wood for presumably some sort of scout rush, I would hope. I honestly can't say. We've got Wosh taking 3 on sheep pretty far away from his TC. And now we have a barracks and a stable from Wosh. I see no stable yet. Oh, there we go, a stable from Trundo as well. Alright, Trundo still doesn't have any walls. whereas Wosh is walling. If we look at the villager difference, Trundo has 2 less villagers, which isn't too bad. We can see now that Wosh is preparing scouts. Same with Trundo. Are we going to have these scouts meet in the middle? Looks like he gave up on pushing the deer. He's still got a couple left. Alright, starting to see some scouts on this side. Bit of a clash of scouts on this side. It looks like just the one that he sent out scouting. How is scouting on both of them? So we've got Trundo's got his base and the enemy base scouted out, whereas Wosh has pretty much the same thing, just in a different pattern. So that's not too bad. We're now seeing a little bit of aggression coming from Wosh, but he loses one of his scouts to the 3 scouts of Trundo. Trundo still not making scouts anymore. It doesn't really matter too much though, because Wosh has completed all of his walls. So I would argue he's less exposed to this oncoming scout rush. Let's see. Wosh has taken back the lead in villagers. He's now got 29 villagers to 26. But he's just going to throw a quick house wall. Doesn't need 2 villagers for that, but I'm sure he'll want to just complete it faster. Yeah, this scout rush isn't going to get through. But Wosh's scout rush is probably going to do some damage here. Or not. Okay, he sees the berries. Yep. He sees the berries. He's going to start doing some damage to the villagers on the berries. And here, yeah, Trundo's not getting in. Alright. I don't know if he actually took out any vills. Trundo's got a couple of spearmen here. But the point really is just to disrupt him and get him off of his resources. He is nicely walling in this area. I don't know if that might be a hole. That I think is a hole right there. I don't know why he didn't dive into it. Trundo's got a couple of idle vills over here. What about Wosh? Wosh still quick walling over here. That scout rush still isn't going to do anything. He is continuing to produce vills, and his scout rush unfortunately seems to have fallen flat due to these pikemen that are just hanging around. He does still have Trundo does still have a couple of idle vills over here though, and one over here. He might have to throw a house like right here, and maybe actually complete some walls if he wants that scout rush to stop bugging him. Meanwhile, Trundo's rush is still horribly ineffective at this point. He's just going to circle around, but I don't think he's going to find any way in. It looks like Wosh is walled up pretty tightly. But Trundo must be distracted because he is not bringing in many of his pikes. There he goes. But Wosh does get a vill pick, 2 vill picks, and potentially more if those pikemen don't get over there quickly. Trundo's focusing way too much on these 3 scouts. If anything, bring them back to deal with the scouts that are now hiding in your wood line. No walls from Trundo. So he continues to be exposed. And Wosh is on his way up to Castle Age. I wonder if we're going to see some knights, or maybe just some light cav. We are looking at Franks, so I assume knights. Maybe he'll go up to 2 TCs. That's what I'd like to see anyway. That palisade was probably not the best idea. At the very least, stonewall it. Okay, he's house walling. That's fine. Wosh is going to get another couple of vill picks over here. Trundo, again, focusing too much on his rush. He loses one of his scouts, but I would argue he trades pretty well with a couple of vills. The vill score is now pretty even. Trundo's on his way up to Castle Age as well. and his rush or his scout rush still has not done anything. He's maybe idled the one Vil off of wherever she came from, but I mean they're not getting through this house. They're not dealing any damage to his economy really. Meanwhile, Wosh has gotten several picks. We'll see where it goes. Okay, we have some upgrades for Wosh. He's upgrading his gold, getting wheelbarrow. He's going to also get forging, presumably for the knights that he's going to start producing. Are we going to see knights? We have one knight production at the moment. And he seems to have left off this this house. I might have been wrong. Maybe Trundo will get in. He's going to send this villager all the way from over here. He might have just enough time. Alright, he's going to produce his knights 1, 2 at a time. He's got a second stable up somewhere. Wosh has a couple of scouts just hanging around the map. Okay, and instead of building a new house, he's going to try to repair this house. A couple of idle villas, no big deal. Where's that second stable at? We've got 1 stable, 2 stables. Alright. So, we've got 4 knights coming in to presumably attack Trundo. I don't believe he's given them any armor yet. Maybe just the first level of armor. He should probably change that because Trundo is going for halbs as well as crossbows. I don't know what he's planning on doing with the crossbows. Maybe trying to counter any aggression with pikemen of Wosh's. But now he's getting raided by 5 knights. He's got another 2 knights back here. He can do a lot of damage with these 5 knights if he plays it carefully. He really needs to get those armor upgrades first, as opposed to getting his attack upgrades though. With knights, you always want to get the armor upgrades first, and then proceed to the attack upgrades when you can. Case in point, these halbs are going to mop up his knights right here. And there's a whole lot he's going to be able to do about that. He is producing more knights though. What he needs to do is try to avoid Trundo's pikemen and just dive into the back of the economy here. Again, hit this tree line while the knights are busy over here, or while the pikemen are busy over here. There's his armor upgrade. Once he gets that armor upgrade, he can probably take out this many pikemen, or this many halbs. No, they're just pikemen. Okay. Yeah, he can take that fight. It's not going to be pretty, but he can definitely take that fight. And he's going to get some nice fill picks. He's cleared out this wood line, and the town bell is rung. This is looking really bad for Trundo. We got a 400-point score difference. We've got Wosh just steadily pumping out knights. We've got some pikemen for Trundo that are being produced. Some archers. But I don't know at this point if that's going to matter that much. The pikemen are going to follow the knights pretty easily. They've got enough armor to handle it. He's got nothing on really either wood line. Yeah, he's just going to clean this up. If Wosh doesn't clean this up, that's kind of a big throw at this point. He's got consistent night production. I'd like to see like a gathering point set more towards Trundo's base, just so that he doesn't have to wait so long for them to gather up here. I get that he's probably focusing over here, but just keeping that constant pressure up is definitely important. He's probably going to score 1 or 2 more Vil picks before that TC and those pikemen clear up his last knight. Yep. So he did some major damage here to Trundo. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, Trundo's down to 29 villagers to Wosh's 54. We're seeing 2 TC production from Wosh to the 1 TC production on Trundo. Are you even still producing villagers? He is producing villagers. He's producing a lot of villagers. He's got 7 queued up. You could argue that that food might be better invested into maybe, I don't know, pikemen or maybe some upgrades for his pikemen. He is getting bloodlines, but he doesn't have any cavalry to upgrade them. He's got some knights in production, but at this point, I don't know. At this point, it might not be worth it. Trundo's scout rush finally paying off over here as the villas clean up all of the gold. But he doesn't really accomplish much with it, as he really never did. These knights are going to be in a little bit of danger, but they're just going to run away. That's not a fight he wants to take when he can just dive into the eco over here and score some more damage. Again, we're talking 60 to 33 villagers. Military, pretty even. Yep, if he's smart, he's just going to keep running around. He's going to keep producing knights. He has stopped his knight production, despite being able to afford it. That is not the fight that he wants to take. He should be diving in, taking out a few vills, and running away. He's running straight past the villagers on gold. Looks like he's going for a siege workshop and another stable. But he's still, I mean, he's producing villagers from 3 TCs, but he's not producing any military. Okay, he's getting husbandry. He's getting fletching for some reason. He has no archers, but he's getting fletching. Presumably to deal with the pikemen, I guess? Yeah, it looks like he's gonna do that, but again, no military. Is he trying to go imp? He might be trying to go imp here. But he just spent a bunch of gold. Are we gonna see some market abuse in order to go imp? He's got a solid 700 point score lead. But he's not going up to the Imperial Age. Okay, he's got his siege workshop up. Alright, there we go. Now he's going Imperial. He needs to start producing knights very quickly. Okay, now he's got 3 knights coming out of 3 different stables. So hopefully, as long as he can keep that production up, I don't think this will be a problem. Presumably soon he will go and get his, presumably a mangonel. Now we see a castle securing the middle ground. It's definitely looking really good for Wosh. I can definitely see it going really well for him. But I guess we'll see. What about Trundo? How's Trundo doing? Trundo's making some archers. He's not going up to Imperial Age, which is maybe the right move for him. I'd like to see a castle from him somewhere. Probably a defensive castle at this point. Especially because he doesn't have any walls. So, I mean, he could maybe put a castle here. That wouldn't really protect him too much. So probably, I guess, right here would be his best bet. Meanwhile, the castle from Wosh goes up in the center. We're seeing very limited production of vills and archers from Trundo. Yeah, I don't know. We're looking at 28 military for Trundo, for 14 for Wosh, but we've got almost twice the number of vills for Wosh. We're seeing some rams now. That's not going to do much good against the knights. Oh, is Wosh going to charge in here? I think he is. Wosh is now in Imperial. Are we going to see some trebs? I think we might start seeing some trebs. Nope. No, we are not. He's gonna mop up these crossbowmen easily, especially if these pikes don't come over and get in the way. All right. Yep. And he takes a couple of archer kills and he runs away. He's going to now be going up to Cavalier. He's again getting the attack upgrades before his defensive upgrades, I think. That one archer not set to defensive stance or stand ground. And right now, all he's allowing Trundo to do is rebuild his economy. Trundo's now back up to 2 TCs. We see 2 TCs also from Wosh. And he's going to try to secure this side with a castle. Honestly, though, he doesn't really need it right here. Trundo has not been offensive at all. Okay, we're seeing a defensive castle from Trundo now. That's, you know, decent enough location. But this castle could just as easily have been right here and denying that wood line and gold. We're also going to see another castle where I suggested earlier from Trundo, and he's going to move in on this center castle. I guess we'll see. That knight's going to eat it. But again, if he's smart, if Wosh is doing anything right, he's just going to dive in and take out these rams with his cavaliers. I mean, he's going to lose some pikemen, but the castle should take care of most of the other units in the area. Yep. And we're seeing the rams are going down. Trundo's entire army is going down. And now all he has to do is dive in. Oh, and Trundo calls the GG, and that is the end of game 1. Alright, so we are ending game 1 with Wosh 1, Trundo 0. And again, I mean, it was just that major difference in villagers. We had 64 villagers for Trundo and 91 for Wosh that just allowed that constant production of knights, the eventual increase to Imperial Age. We had some Trebs. Yeah, this wouldn't have lasted much longer. I think Trundo probably called it with that double score difference. Alright, looking at the stats real quick, we see that Wosh pretty much dominated in everything. Military, yeah, that's no surprise. Economy, the only thing he didn't collect more of was stone, but I mean, it was still enough to make the castle that he needed. And, you know, we're seeing 3,000 to 5,000 more of every single resource besides stone. And that's really what did it, along with the going up to Imperial Age. He also beat Trundo to every single age. So I guess we'll see now if game 2 makes any difference for Trundo. So it looks like this is going to be an islands game with both players playing Italian. So we have an Italian war on islands. Sorry folks, this might not be the most exciting games. I'm actually going to speed up the beginning. Yeah, I don't quite like that. I want it still actually watchable in case anything happens. Okay, we see them finding their deer and boar pretty quickly. But again, it's islands. It's pretty hard not to find all of your stuff. We've got a couple of nice islands in the center here. One with a little bit of stone on it. One with a lot of gold on it and a relic. Is that? No, that's not. Okay, that's not either of their golds. The gold is a little bit closer to Wosh's side, but I don't think that matters very much. Yeah, I mean it's islands. The map gen doesn't quite matter too much. One thing, okay, they've got 2 relics on either side, so that's pretty even. We've got a successful Borlor on this side, successful Borlor on this side, and just a little bit of idle time, but nothing too bad. Now we've got the first dock from both players, and they should both be producing fishing ships. I do sort of like that this Vil is going for the shorefish. It looks like he tried to get that second one in. I don't like this one going for shorefish. She should just go back to the wood line or do something along those lines. Alright. He is letting that turkey rot. Okay, now he's good. Let's see what we got over here. It looks like Trundo is again trying to push his deer. He did this in the last game. Though I'd argue this time he's doing it much more successfully. he is going to abandon his boar with all except for one vill, though. I don't really like that. Just for the deer over here, it's not the worst, but you've got the boar right there under your TC. That's much more efficient than collecting your boar or your deer and turkeys way outside of your TC. We are seeing Wosh get housed a little bit, but both seem to be producing a pretty good stream of fishing boats. I don't like that both of their docks are right next to each other. I think they could easily spread them out a little bit, just so that as the fish in this area and this area are depleted, then if he, for instance, were to dock here instead of here, his fishing ships would be much more efficient. Same with Trundo. He is going to keep making docks. It looks like. Perhaps. Yep. So will Wosh. And now they're spread out. We're seeing some fire ships on both sides. Trundo is making 3 more. Wosh is only making 1 more. And Trundo seems to have fought off the fire ships from Wosh. We're going to see a big battle in the middle here. But I think this is going in favor of Trundo, which makes sense. It is his home map. He should know how to play it better. We're seeing a little bit of idle time from Wosh. He's got 4 idle vills, which are his fishing ships for the most part, as he fights off. Just 1 demo ship. It looks like we do have a demo ship being made, but it was a bit ineffectual. If he just makes some demo ships, that should really take care of this. He's bunched all of his fire ships right up. But there is a constant production of fire ships just coming this way. It looks like Trundo really wants to win water here. Oh, and we see a couple of quick demo ships. They do a little bit of damage to Trundo's fleet, but not enough to prevent what's happening here. And again, we've just got a constant stream of fire ships. We just don't have as many fire ships coming from Wosh. And Trundo's fire ships will mop this up easily enough. We're going to see a couple of demos coming out. We've got one fire ship docked in this ship, but again, it's not going to matter. And it looks like Trundo has fairly easily taken the water on this map. We're seeing Castle Age from Trundo now. I'm going to go back to normal playback speed. We're about 20 minutes in now. And we're seeing no resistance on water from Wosh. We've got almost double the speed, not quite double the score. But we've got a significant score lead for Trundo. He's got Wosh is just calling the GG. Well, that's surprising. I mean, he lost water, but there was plenty more he could have done. I don't know that I entirely agree with that GG. He still had plenty of resources everywhere. He was making a back dock. I mean, Trundo had 6, 7 fire ships, and 1 transport ship, I guess, that he was transporting maybe some villagers across with. But in all honesty, Wosh did not have to call the GG there. He easily could have done something. He could have made some ground troops, landed them on Trundo's island. He could have landed some vills, maybe threw up some towers. I mean, there's plenty that Wosh could have done. But, I mean, we're talking about a 20-minute GG. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, yeah, he hit castle level for you, but, I mean, it wasn't that bad. So we're looking at this. Economy-wise, it was kind of all over the place. No one had collected any stone yet. That's fine. Gold was pretty even. Food was decently even. A little bit of wood for Wosh, which is even more surprising that he called the GG. I mean, he lost a couple of docks and it seems like he just gave up. He even had more villagers. I mean, you don't have to keep water for islands for the most part. It's suggested, but you certainly don't have to. So I guess we're moving on to the game 3, which is going to be on Yucatan. We're getting some interesting map choices from these guys. And it looks like Trundo is going to go for Franks, and Wosh is going to go for Mongols. Mongols are the suggested play for Yucatan um, because of all the hunt you get. I mean, look, you've got these turkeys, these turkeys. I'm sure he's got deer somewhere. Yep, all of these deer. More turkeys. That's another 6 turkeys plus his boar. Uh, so, I mean, honestly, Mongols is really the play here. Um, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. Speed it up a little bit through the first little bits. Pretty standard stuff here. Uh, so just a quick tip for anyone watching. Uh, when you are setting your waypoints and setting your do next for your villagers, try to get your next sheep or your next turkey on top of your old sheep, so your villagers don't actually have to move, because that's just time they could be eating more food. Uh, as for these guys, they're both producing plenty of vills. They've both found the majority of their sheep. Now we're going to see a boar lure on this side and a boar lure on this side. No fatalities on either side. That's pretty great. Wosh is going to, I guess, start making some houses. Now, I really like the position of this mill here on both the berries for Trundo. That's pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. Meanwhile, unfortunately, we've got 2 separate piles of berries. It looks like this turkey's been left out to dry. But for the most part, they've both found all of their various hunts, I think. Yeah, they found it. Wosh just hasn't moved his yet. I guess there's no laming in this. Okay, that's a smart move, trying to pull the board back towards the TC. Still not the most efficient that he could have gotten, but it is what it is. Trundo's sitting all of his turkeys just outside of his TC. In a normal game, that's just asking to get lamed, but in this tournament where there's no laming, that's probably the right move, just so your villagers don't accidentally kill 4 of them at the same time. I'd like to see another mill back here for Trundo. And it looks like we had a garrisoning for Wosh. I don't know if that was just to collect more resources. Yeah, he is going up to feudal age now, so maybe he was just trying to gather all the resources as quickly as he could. I would like to see a mill up here for him for Wosh as well, especially as Mongols. All that extra food is just waiting to be taken. And we see Trundo still in Dark Age. Does he have the food to go up? He does not quite have the food to go up. He is going to grab Bloom, though. That's pretty nice. Wosh is just kind of diddling around with his boar down here. And Trundo is going to go up to feudal age. Nah. Come on, Trundo. Now, there we go. Now. All right. So a bit of a late feudal time for Trundo. He did find a couple of Wosh's turkeys, but has wisely let them be. And we have Wosh. In a surprising change from game 1, we have Wosh barely walling, and we have Trundo walling up nicely. Well, I'll be damned. Alright, we are seeing a stable coming out from Wosh. And just a barracks so far from Trundo. I wonder if what he's going to do. Probably a stable as well. I wonder if we'll see another scout rush attempt. Remember, back in game one, Trundo's scout rush absolutely miserably failed uh, due to the fact that Wosh was entirely full walled. Uh, Meanwhile, now he's got his knight hiding in the back, or his scout hiding in the back of poor Wosh's base. But we'll see if it actually does much. All right, Trundo finally in the feudal age. Just over 11 minutes. We're starting to see some scouts as well as bloodlines coming for Wosh. All right, that's not too bad. Hopefully he'll get his three scouts and head in. Trundo is mostly walled. I think there might be a hole in there. There's definitely a big hole here. And no, that's not a hole back there. That is a very small gap though. But he could easily take, some scouts and hit there. He is charging forward with his 3 knights. He's got 7 idle villas while he does that. Hopefully he will start taking some of these deer. Again, as the Mongol player, that's really what he wants to be doing right now. And he takes the farthest deer he possibly can. No luring, no anything. We see a bit of a scout fight between Trundo and Wosh over at Trundo's base. But, I mean, the extra scout is just going to demolish Trundo. We're going to see the scouts just barely fail to make it in here. That was a nice quick wall by Trundo. And it has now rendered Wosh's scout rush mostly ineffective. They can try to break in somewhere else, but he's got these villagers on standby already. Meanwhile, Wosh, is he idling his villas again? Nope, he's still doing a pretty decent job. Maybe focusing a little bit too much on this side. Is he still producing scouts? He is not producing scouts anymore, but he is retreating with his scout rush. Maybe he's going to try to attack here. I can't suggest him attacking the houses. That's just going to take too long. We'll see what he is scouted. He doesn't know this is here. He doesn't actually know that the house walls are here either. Meanwhile, Trundo is gathering his scouts and spearmen. And he might be going to go attack Wosh. Though Wosh at this point is mostly walled. This looks like it could be a hole up here. Up on this hill, it's hard to tell. But it does look like it could be a hole for Wosh. Hopefully that's something that, depending on who you're rooting for, either Trundo or Wosh, or Trundo will or won't exploit. We're seeing a little bit of attacking here, but again, with the quick walls, it's going to render this scout rush ineffective. And I've got to just say, oh, the irony. Previously, Trundo's scout rush was rendered useless. Oh, it looks like Trundo will have found the hole. Will Wosh be able to block that up before he gets there? I don't think so. Oh, and unfortunately, Trundo gets through. He doesn't take out any of these easy vills right here. Alright, and this is going to do a little bit of damage, especially because Wosh is bringing his scouts back, but not before Trundo can get a couple of vill picks, and that is going to even up the villagers for the most part. If not, for the actually Trundo is now going to have a 4 villager lead, and he's relieved the pressure of the scout rush that he had from Wosh. Again, Wosh idling some villagers and taking the farthest possible deer from his mill. I can't agree with that, but I guess, do you, man? Do you? I don't see... Wosh can go up to Castle Age. He's got the buildings for it. We see Trundo going up, and then shortly followed by Wosh. Trundo is taking his deer with a nice mill back there.
Boy.
This mining camp could be a tile closer. This is a pretty decent mining camp, though actually if you'd put it right on these 4 tiles here, that might have nicely defended any villas that he wanted to put in here. And it looks like Wosh is just going to come back and attack this wall, but that's not really going to threaten Trundo too much. We also see Wosh finally getting double bit axe and horse collar, as well as upgrading his gold. Typically speaking, you want to get double bit axe and or horse collar, depending on your build, right at the beginning of feudal age. But hey, at least he got it. He's also grabbing fletching, so I imagine he's going to want to go for some Mangadai. Yep, he's got 7 on stone over here in preparation for building his castle. He's gonna lose this knight, or he's gonna lose this scout, but his scouts aren't gonna do anything over here. If I was Trundo, I probably wouldn't even be worried about this at all, really. How are we doing with Trundo over here? Trundo is not producing any more military. I'm assuming he's gonna wait for knights. He's got 3 stables, so 3 stable knight production. It doesn't look like he has the food eco to hold that though. And I'm not seeing any extra TCs. I am seeing a lot of idle villagers. What about for Wosh? Is Wosh immediately going for his castle? Wosh is immediately going for his castle here. He could also go for a couple of TCs, maybe a nice TC here, another TC here, or even okay, he is going for one over here. I might have put it a little bit more towards this just so he had easier access to the gold. But overall, I mean, if he just wants the woodline, he just wants the woodline. We're still seeing, okay, we're seeing a second TC. I do like the TC position here. That is going to help him defend this side. Are we going to see a third TC pop up somewhere? We are not yet. Trundo is producing knights though from three stables, and now he's got a siege workshop heading out. We're seeing pikemen only right now from Wosh. In fact, if we look at the differences, we've got, you know, not a lot of military for either of them, but Trundo has a significant villager lead. These knights will mop up the scouts if he really wants to, but honestly, at this point, just go in and attack his eco. Don't let him build up Mangadai, Trundo. We already see the start of the Mangadai production, but Wosh does not have the golden wood eco, I don't think, to keep it up very long. Again, I'd like to see that third TC. We've got 2 also for Trundo, so it's not that big of a problem yet. I also don't see any Castle Age upgrades coming in. A lot of knights, some Mangadai, plenty of villagers, but I'm not seeing any upgrades. I don't see Bodkin Arrow. I don't see... What's going on? There's a Jaguar attacking a couple of spearmen over here. These spearmen need to move because they're not doing much up here. And these knights need to be doing something. He's got 11 knights. Those could very easily break through these walls into Wosh's eco and do some major damage. I can't tell if this is a hole here. But all Trundo's doing is letting Wosh build up his Mangadai numbers. And that could be really, really dangerous against a Mongols player. We're starting to see some rams coming from Trundo, but again, he doesn't need them right now. It might be, yeah, it's nice that he's creating them, but he needs to go in with his knights. He needs to go do some damage to Wosh's economy. He is ahead in villagers, but it doesn't really matter because 5 of his are idle. We're seeing an archer range now. I guess he's gonna try to counter pikes, or maybe he's gonna set up some skirms for the Mangadai. But in these numbers, I mean, his scouts can take these his knights can take these Mangadai. He's got 13 of them. But if he waits much longer, there's gonna be too many Mangadai for the knights to easily take down. I don't see... We're seeing elite skirm and some armor on the knights, which is good. I'm not seeing much else from Wosh, though. I don't see a university. I don't see ballistics coming in. Again, I might have missed it, but I didn't see Bodkin Arrow. So right now, these Mangudai are in low numbers and underpowered, but that's not going to be the case for long. Wosh is going to put up a castle here. And again, we've got 13 knights. We've got more knights chilling out over here. Again, if I have one piece of advice, it would be setting rally points. Get your hotkeys down for all your stables, and just set the gather point right here, or even like right here. But that way you don't have knights just chilling out here or chilling out here, doing nothing essentially. And these Mangudai will shred these rams if he's not careful. A little bit of micro, and these knights are going down. Ooh, that's a no. You run and fight with Mangudai. You do not stay and fight a bunch of knights, especially since you don't have your upgrades for them yet. Now on the hill, it's not a bad place for them. But you're going to lose a lot of Mangudai, and they're pretty expensive. You're also going to lose these villagers, and this is a Doubt Castle. Yeah, this is not looking too good for Wosh. He's got his scouts up here. They're going to take down maybe 2 of the rams, but this castle isn't going up. It's definitely not going up at all. And again, we're seeing that villager difference. More Mangudai are on their way, but now we're seeing a not quite forward castle for Trundo, and we're seeing some skirms come in to try to counter the Mangudai numbers. If he can hold him in this little gap with the Mangudai, that'll demolish the knights. Yeah, the knights are going to go down, but he's lost so many Mangudai along the way. If he just grabbed... I gotta check this just to make sure. Oopsie. What am I looking for? Where's the tech tree? There we go. So does he have Bodkin Arrow yet? Oh boy. All right, this is going really well for Trundo. He's got some knights in the eco. All the Mangudai are dead. Wosh has got several vills. He's just now going for Halbs. Trundo, on the other hand, plenty of wood, plenty of gold. Maybe Trundo should be the Mangudai player, honestly. He's just going to build some more skirms with it, and he's also going to get his Castle Age armor for his knights. And he'll probably, I mean, yeah, with this many skirms, he's got almost 20 skirms. They're all elites. And it looks like he's got another at least 10 in production. Those Mangudai aren't going to be able to do much against these skirms, though he might be able to hide behind his castle for a little while. I see he's got a siege workshop, but he's not making anything out of it yet. A couple of mangonels might be very useful here. And now if Trundo, if he has the stone, he almost does have the stone. He could put a nice castle right on this hill, right where Wosh tried. And that fields of fire right onto his TC. You already see him using his scouts on this wood line over here. That ram could probably, well, there's not really, oh, and he is going to put a castle right here. If that isn't a fuck you, I don't know what else is. Right where Wosh failed to put his castle previously, he is going to drop a disrespect castle right on top of him. We're seeing another siege workshop from Wosh, but okay, he's got one mangonel, which maybe with a couple of really nice shots he might be able to get Trundo with, but now he's housed. So we'll see how he deals with that. Trundo, on the other hand, is making a shitload of rams, but still no more knights. He's got 31 skirmishers, but will that have enough punch to to get through all of his units. We're seeing some Mangudai break loose over to the left. Is he going to try to send them around? Looks like Trundo is going to try to wall off this side of the map. That might be a bit of an ambitious project, but I guess since he hasn't really experienced any aggression so far, he's just going to send his skirms around. The problem with that, obviously, is that he's telling Wosh exactly where his 31 skirms are. He might have gotten a couple of Vilpix, but he's letting him know, hey, my army is over here. Wosh, why don't you come attack me where I'm vulnerable? Because all of my military is fort. So that's what these 7 Mangudai are going to do. I don't know how effective they're going to be. Yep, we're just seeing Bodkin Arrow now, 36 minutes into the game, as well as a couple of Mangonel. I'd argue the Mangonel aren't really as useful as your Rams at this point. But you put all those resources into Knights, you might as well make some Knights. Okay, we're gonna see some Mangudai going down here to the skirms. This is not a fight he wants to take. The skirms are all on a hill, and he is going to run away from that. But I mean, there's nothing really he can do back here. Meanwhile, we've got Rams at the gates. This Ram will go down, but he's got his 25 of his skirms right here. They can easily take out these pikemen. Trundo is also going Imperial Age now. He's almost 50% of the way to Imperial. Though this is an impressive amount of Mangonels for Wosh. And it does not appear he has any more coming, though. He is making continuous Vils. We're seeing 83 Vils from Wosh as opposed to 69, nice, from Trundo. But Wosh is just sitting there with his Mangudai. He, at the very least, go around. This entire side is open. He could do some serious damage with his 6 Mangudai over here. I'm also not seeing any more Mangudai production from Wosh. I mean, he's going strictly into pikemen, but he hasn't seen a knight in probably about 10 minutes. All he's seen is skirms, and we are getting some knight production from Trundo now, but I wouldn't say enough to justify Wosh's production. What are you doing, Wosh? What are you doing? Trundo's in Imperial Age. Wosh is only 30% of the way there. What are we going to see from Trundo? We're going to see a couple of trebuchets being made at his back castle. These skirms are going to clear up the Mangudai, and then there's just no more Mangudai left. After that, we've got plenty of pikemen, but those are going to fall pretty easily to the skirms, assuming these Mangonels don't just take them out. And I'm wondering if the GG is about to be called. These pikemen aren't going to last. Oh no, watch out for the Mangonel, Trundo. Watch out for the Mangonels. Send your knights in. You've got at least a couple of those. Send your knights in. Okay, well, Wosh shouldn't be sending in his pikemen here. He really shouldn't be sending in his pikemen here. And now, if Trundo was really ballsy about it, he could send in his Mangonel, and he could probably take out most of these Mangonels with one attack ground. His Trebs are going to do some damage to this, but these Mangonels are just going to melt his Rams. But there we go. Okay, he's got enough knights. If he charges in and takes the Mangonels, his skirm should be able to handle the other units, and then he'll just bring the Rams in, and this game's over. I'd be very surprised if the GG wasn't called pretty soon. Yep, there goes all of Wosh's precious Mangonels. He is making some big hits on the skirms. Actually, wow, he cleaned that up. Color me surprised. Yep, that's the last of the Mangonels, but I mean, this was cleaned up pretty nicely. Trundo, of course, is going into Cavalier, and looks like 2 or 3 stable production. He's still got Trebs. He's making more Trebs. Now he's dropping a castle. I mean, I don't know how Wosh can possibly come back from this. What do we see Wosh doing? Wosh is making one counter treb. I don't know what he expects to do with that. He's got some Hussars. It looks like he's got some pikemen that he hasn't upgraded to help yet. Uh, I mean, barring some really ballsy moves, this is probably over. Uh, Wosh, your one chance might be to make a bunch of Hussars and send them all the way around the map over into this section of Trundo's economy and just wipe out his economy. He doesn't have much of one. It's 78 villagers to your 94. You might be able to do some serious damage to him, but even then, he's still going to have all of his military. Now he's got 3 trebuchets, just taking down your TCs. Next will probably be your castles. It's at this point, Trundo would have to throw it pretty hard to really manage to do any of that. Yep, there goes the stable. There's another treb. He's gonna start attacking the castle. Trundo's just gonna send some cavaliers in to take care of these trebs. And with that goes really any hope of Wosh to come back from this. He is going to clean up the cavaliers here, but he's got this coming in from the right hand side. He's still got military being produced from the other side. At this point, it's trash war versus gold units. Look at all these cavaliers coming in for Trundo. It's just a constant night spam. The castle goes down. Yeah, I mean he's gonna lose some trebs here, but the castle's protecting him. The skirms are protecting him. Trundo's starting to make some throwing axemen out of his castles, and that's the GG. And this is all over. Trundo wins round 2 of Dark Age Cup. And that's it, folks. Pretty impressive showing. I wouldn't have thought from the first game that Trundo would have won with his strategy of not walling at all. But with that very quick defeat of Wosh in round 2, it was pretty easy for him to mop up here in round 3. So we're going to leave the map and take a look at the stats real quick. Yeah, Trundo beat him in military economy. That KD was much better economy-wise. I mean, stone and gold, one more stone than Wosh, and about 500 more gold. Wosh actually collected more food and wood, but I think Trundo was just the more aggressive player here. So that's it, folks. I might be back on in a couple of minutes to play some games of my own, but thanks for watching. Go ahead and drop a follow if you guys like the content. If not, well, then I guess feel free to leave. Alright, see y'all around.